all about how to heal from a perineal tear as fast as possible. Last week we talked a lot about what is a perineal tear and how to prevent them as much as possible. And today we're going to talk about helping them feel better and helping them heal as fast as possible, because they happen. But before I get to that, let me tell you, I have a coupon for the Essentials shop I want you to grab. You can go to mynaturalbabybirth.com/shop and you can get $5 off any of the downloads in there with the code NEWBIE, all caps, NEWBIE, for the rest of this month. My treat to you. So, okay. I already summarized what we talked about last week. But, okay, and we want to shorten your healing time, right? If you haven't given birth before, that's okay. If you have and you've torn, you can absolutely agree with me that it can be a painful process to heal, because you've got stitches, there is burning and itching and swelling and pressure. Going to the bathroom sucks. And so making sure that you get over that as fast as you can. It is worse than birth, honestly. I've had 3 tears. I talked about it last week, but I didn't discover a lot of these remedies that I'm going to share with you until my 3rd pregnancy, my 3rd birth. And it's crazy. I want all moms to know about these things, because you absolutely deserve the pampering and care, especially with a perineal tear. Hey, that rhymed. Okay, so let's just get at it. There are a bunch of natural herbal remedies that you can use. Earth Mama Angel Baby has a lot of awesome herbal products that you can use. They have a sitz bath herbal pack, so it's like a tea bag. You can open it up and dump the herbs in a nice warm sitz bath, and you can just soak up all these awesome herbs to help soothe your bottom and promote healing. You can get witch hazel pads, or just a bottle of witch hazel and put it on your pads that you're wearing, right? Because you're probably still bleeding. That reduces swelling and pain from hemorrhoids and things like that. You can use lavender and peppermint oil in different mixtures. Do not use them straight, okay? They've got to be diluted in a carrier oil. You can use them in an aloe vera gel. There's lots of different recipes. Go on Pinterest and just Google postpartum healing pads or recovery pads, and you can find all these recipes on how you can combine these different essential oils with aloe vera gel and witch hazel and all sorts of stuff, and make your own little freezer pads that you sit on, literally, that are great. Earth Mama Angel Baby also has a recovery balm. It's just a really gentle moisturizing balm that you can apply very gently after you get out of the bath, right? So after you've had a shower or gone to the restroom. They even have a quick spray with all of the herbs too. Say you go to the bathroom and you're in a public place, you can have this spray in your purse to just give yourself a little once-over, because it hurts to go to the bathroom. And if you're not fresh out of the shower or something, it's just a quick little remedy I love. You can take supplements like vitamin C, which is really important when it comes to healing, and L-glutamine is one that a lot of people don't know about. And it's usually used in supplements for muscle building, like bodybuilders and famous athletes are more hype on L-glutamine, but it's actually really important for cell structure and bonding and creating those connections back between cells. So, like when you are healing from any sort of injury or a wound, L-glutamine is really important for that, and you can just get a supplement of that right over the counter. So that's a lot of natural herbal remedies. Now there are also a bunch of exercises you can actually do to help heal from a tear faster too. And you're like, Sarah, I just gave birth. I'm in pain. Why the heck would I want to exercise? And I totally know. I get it. And I'm not saying, after they've put the baby in your arms, jump up and do some exercises. No, take your time. At least wait 2 or 3 days at the very minimum. But implementing some really simple things can help strengthen those muscle fibers that are trying to come back together. Exercise shortens our muscles and builds them, and if they're torn apart, they've lengthened obviously way too long, and they have to pull back together to heal and reattach. And doing simple exercises helps them do that better, like Kegels. And I know the first time you do a Kegel after having a tear, giving birth, feels so weird, and it feels like, oh, this is impossible. I'm trying to close a gap that's there, but it's not happening. So it feels kind of weird at first. It really does. But keep at it. You don't have to do as many repetitions that you were doing while you were pregnant, because hopefully you're doing a ton right now and you're getting 50 to 100 a day at least. But when you're postpartum, just try 5 or 10 a couple of times a day. Gently, softly. You don't have to squeeze the life out of yourself down there, but just get back into that motion and you will feel yourself getting stronger and stronger again. You can do a simple exercise where I can't quite display it because I'm standing, but you lay on the floor on your back with your knees propped up, kind of like you're going to do a crunch or a sit-up, but you're not going to do a full-on sit-up by any means. You're simply just going to lift your head. You're not going to angle and tilt your head like this, but you're simply going to lift it and kind of just barely lift your shoulders off of the floor so it engages your lower core muscles. Just really gently. You could do it in bed, right? When you're reading a book or something. And that helps bring together that pelvic floor and the core muscles that support those two. Then just simple, well, I'll get to that. Okay, so those are really the only exercises that you really need to do or even think about considering to help pull a perineal tear back together. Okay, the next thing you want to do is make sure that your bowel movements are comfortable as much as possible, because before you went into labor, right, you likely had diarrhea and you were all emptied out, right, and everything kind of all skiwampus. But then after you have your baby, you likely won't have a bowel movement for a few days, maybe even a week, because everything's readjusting itself in there, and you can have a really, really hard stool for the first time when you go to the bathroom for the first time after having a baby. And if you do not have stool softener, that first bowel movement can rip open what it's already been working to close. The first time I went to the bathroom after having my first son, it was the worst thing ever. And I had stool softener and everything, not because of the tear, but because of the hemorrhoids I had, and it was awful. So make sure you are taking a stool softener as soon as you have that baby. Get it in your system for a few days. It is so important, and take it for at least a month, and you will not regret it, because you do not want a big bowel movement to just tear what you've already been trying to heal. And then along with that, have plenty of water, plenty of fiber to keep your digestive system flowing smoothly. Do simple, easy, gentle movement throughout the day, like walking. Put the baby in the stroller and walk around the block. Don't sit around all day. It really helps your bowels come out as gently as possible. And then one extra thing I really love is, because you likely have hemorrhoids too on top of all of this, and so when you're going to the bathroom, if if you have a Squatty Potty stool, I'll link to it for you. It's just this little stool that you put around the base of your toilet that lifts, elevates your feet up, and it's really great to use even during pregnancy and all the time. I recommend everyone have one. It elevates your feet so that your I can't even show you because I'm standing, so that your legs are angled properly like a squat, and it opens up your bowels. It loosens the muscles that hold up your colon so you can have a much easier, cleaner bowel movement. And it really, really reduces the effort and the pain and discomfort of going to the bathroom. Peeing too, but mostly going number 2. And if you haven't got one, you need to get one. And I'll give you a link to it. But it's just science. It's basic science. We crap better when we are squatting, literally. So using a little Squatty Potty stool next to your toilet really, really helps that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of things. I have a few more. Make sure that you stay clean and dry down there. I know that for the first few weeks, you're bleeding and you're changing all the time. Just don't worry about trying to fill a pad before you change it. Every time you go to the bathroom, just change it. I cannot stand pads, but you can't obviously use tampons right now. You have to have those huge diaper pads, and that's okay, but just keep yourself clean and dry as much as possible. When you have gone to the bathroom, use one of those squirt bottles. What are those called? Peri bottles. You can get one for free from your birthing center or hospital, and just rinse yourself with warm water. Don't rub or touch yourself for the first couple of weeks until things have really calmed down. And yeah. And then my last tip is, when you're sitting on a chair or sitting anywhere at all, make sure you're sitting on a waffle pillow. A waffle pillow it's kind of like, I'm sure you've heard of a donut pillow where it's a ring and it has a hole in the middle. Well, a waffle pillow is wavy and has a bunch of holes in it. And I've used a donut pillow and a waffle pillow after giving birth, and I really like the pillow better because it distributes that pressure on your bottom a lot better than a donut hole pillow. A donut pillow, maybe you like that better too, but for me, it felt like it was kind of putting, kind of like when you sit on a toilet and the middle of your bottom, the lower middle part of your pelvis, the pressure kind of falls there, or when you're sitting on a flexible swing, it kind of gets pressed down like that. That's what that felt like to me with a donut pillow, but a waffle pillow didn't do that because it would distribute the weight to the side. And so I still have mine up in my closet, and I totally recommend taking it everywhere with you and sitting on it until your bum is more comfortable. Okay, so that's a lot of tips, but that's totally okay. One thing you do not want to do is, oh, I totally forgot, right after you give birth, for like the first day, put ice down there, obviously. Whoever helps you give birth is most likely automatically going to do this because it will drastically reduce the swelling beforehand, whether you tear or not. Ice it. Ice, baby. Because it will feel so much better and so good. But then afterwards, once you've gone home, you may have the urge to actually put heat on it for the soreness that you're going to feel. But you do not want to do that. It actually makes it worse. Because heat relaxes things and increases blood. Blood flow is good, but it actually can help things expand, and we don't want things to expand right now. We want them to contract, right? We want that wound to come together and the inflammation to go down. So you only ever want to do ice packs or cool packs at any time. Not heat. Even if you're achy, and I know you're going to be achy and sore, you can take ibuprofen or Tylenol for that, just a regular painkiller. But so stay away from heat. Okay? Awesome. So we talked about a ton of things. I don't see any, oh, Dakoba, is that how you say your name? Dakoba? Good info, thanks. I'll share this with my wife. Oh, awesome. That would be great. And so if you guys have any questions about perineal tears, I know we could talk more about dealing with scar tissue when it comes to further down the line, but that's kind of a totally separate topic. Send me, and yes, you want me to talk about scar tissue? Let me know. Dakupa. I hope I'm saying that right. But so I have a bunch of links when I post this live. I will put a bunch of links in there for where you can get all of these things I recommend. But really, let me say one more thing. Your doctor's going to tell you that he'll check you after 6 weeks. He, she, it could be anyone. They'll check you after 6 weeks and say, oh yeah, you're good to go. You can resume your normal sexual activity or whatever you were doing before. And don't listen to that. 6 weeks is not, 6 weeks is not going to be long enough time. Give it 3 months at least. I mean, if you don't tear, or if it's a really tiny tear, you might feel up to it, and that's great. Only you know you best. But if you do have a level 2, 3, or 4 tear, please just wait 2 to 3 months. Tell your husband, no, the doctor said 3 to 4 months. That, that's what we gotta do. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Anyway, so just take it slow. Just take it slow. It can be pinching and sharp and painful at first, but take it slow and you will be able to loosen that scar tissue back up, and you will get back to normal. Ask your midwife or doctor for a hormone cream. Since I've torn every single time, I didn't get any relief from my scar tissue until my 3rd birth, because I finally had a midwife and she gave me a hormone cream that I applied for a day. Well, it was like every other day for a couple of weeks, but from day 1, I had relief from scar tissue pain. Gone. And it's amazing. My gynecologists, the first 2 times, didn't... It's amazing how different providers will suggest different things. But if you are having lots of pain afterwards with intercourse, it's totally ask for a hormone cream because it will work. Okay? I don't know how else to say your name. Daco? I'll call you D. D. That's not my name, but any tips will be appreciated. We're going with a midwife. Awesome. Great. You know what, D? You can go to mynaturalbabybirth.com, and I have tons of resources that you and your wife can download. Okay, and then I will also link to everything I've mentioned here in the post. Saida says, does everyone have a tear during delivery? No, not necessarily. We talked about this a little bit last week. It depends on your positions, how you're pushing, the size of your baby, the angle your pelvis and the baby's head is at. Dakota, awesome, you're welcome. How intensely you're pushing, it depends on your genetics, your ethnicity, your skin type, how you've prepared your perineal tissue and your pelvic floor muscles for it. There's a lot of different factors, Saida, into if you tear or not during your delivery. You can do everything. Go back and watch last week's video. I'll link to it, okay, when I post this. But you can do everything possible to prevent a tear and still have a tear. But your odds are much, much greater if you do those things to try and best to prevent them. So that's why I wanted to talk today about how you can heal as fast and as gently as possible, because they happen. They happen, and we don't want to be any more uncomfortable than we already are, okay? Great. If anyone else has any questions, you can put them below this, and I would be happy to answer them. And awesome. Yes. And that's all for today. Make sure again, if you want to grab the downloads in the Essentials shop, you can use the code newbie for $5 off. You're welcome, Saida, and you're welcome, D. I'll just call you D. Dakota. Anyway, whatever. If you have any questions, send me a message, leave a comment, and I will talk to you guys next week. I have some exciting things coming for you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.